Absolute worst city you've visited? I was always saying that if I am getting paid enough, then I can live in any city in the world. Then I visited Karachi for 1 week. I have absolutely changed my mind. There are more important things in life than money. Story time. I am from Istanbul, Trail, and been to Big Amp, small many cities in my life. I have been there with one of my local colleagues. Some people are really friendly and they will do everything to comfort your stay. But, even in the most expensive hotel, Marriott, my local friend told me to call the receptionist in the very first day and he wanted me to ask him to change the bed linens. Because they just don't change linens unless there is visible dirt smiley face. Also, tap water was basically brown. 2. We went to most expensive grill restaurant near the seaside, and my friend told me that he took anti-diarrhea pills before he went eating outside. Well, he should have warned me before. Also, meat was extremely spicy, so no taste at all. 3. Traffic. Basically a pure chaos, no rules, no lights, no respect, and a lot of very cheap bikes tuk-tuks sharing the same road with big trucks. Even my local guy has a driver, and he says without driver he can't survive at all. 4. Air quality is horrible. Although city is built near seaside, you will not believe how hard it is to breathe outside. 5. Zero foreigners. I am a bit Western looking and everybody will just stare at you, sometimes reach to you and say some stuff. A bit creepy, but no harm. 6. People have zero personal space. So I am from Turkey and I always thought that we are very close to each other, but here people are almost touching each other in the streets and it is very uncomfortable, even for me. 7. All men. Basically if you are a woman, this would be very, very hard experience for you. 8. Streets, shops, everywhere is dirty. I understand that people are poor, I know it, but you don't need money to just clean some dirt in front of your shop. People just do not care, which is very surprising for me because religion also orders to be clean. 9. My local friend is a bit rich and he took me to his villa near a golf place, so basically this is gated community. There was incredible amount of most aggressive mosquitoes you will see in your life, and knowing that these things can carry diseases as well, you will be a bit panicked. 10. Lastly, believe me, you will get sick if you are coming from a modern country. It does not matter how protective you are, even if you only drink bottled water, and eat bread and Nutella you brought in your luggage, being to most expensive places, you will still get sick. I was there for 8 days, last 4 days were spent in hotel room with diarrhea and vomiting, and when I got back to Istanbul I directly went to hospital. They tested me against some very very old diseases that is almost unknown to modern world doctors. So I am sorry for my very good Pakistani friends, but this place is a nightmare and unfortunately they are also part of it. Islamabad was much better than here. For example, I had a very comfortable stay in there, but Karachi is like playing this travel game in hardest difficulty. I've passed through some obvious shitholes, so let's go with a very popular one that many people love. Nashville, Tennessee was like my inner circle of hell. Think of every basic bitch with live laugh love in her living room and eat in her kitchen, and all of her friends within a 3-hour flight in matching outfits, who are rusty and sloppy at partying since their sorority days, all screaming woo. Woo in the bars, woo on the streets, woo on peddling bars, lots of woos and penis straws. Fuck all of that noise.
Yo, what's up? It's Digital Danny here. You already know, the ultimate digital nomad, living the dream, globetrotting, making money while you sit in your cubicle. But hey, even legends like me need a little help sometimes. So here's the deal. I need you to hit that like button, smash subscribe, and get this, click on my Amazon affiliate links. I know, I shouldn't have to ask for help, but the game has changed. My dropshipping empire is about to blow up, and I need some quick funds to push it to the next level. Oh, and don't worry, you don't even need to buy the stuff that I recommend. Just click the link, buy anything on Amazon, and boom, a piece of the pie comes my way. Easy, right? You're helping me build my business, and you get to feel good about contributing to the next digital mogul success. Win-win. Now do your part.
Abu Dhabi by a mile. Caveat: I judge cities by what they can be. I absolutely hated being in Johannesburg, for instance. Barbed wire everywhere, feels hostile as hell. But the locals largely can't help it or control the atmosphere. Same for any really poor city, e.g. Jakarta. But Abu Dhabi, good lord, they're filthy fucking rich. And what does it get used for? Chintzy architecture, god-awful public spaces, everything is intensely unfriendly to pedestrians or anyone who doesn't want to live like they're an heir to oil wealth. I was part of an official visit to the palace, and it was the absolute peak of what I'm talking about. A waste of wealth on a truly monumental, immoral scale. Tulum, Mexico. Prices are just outrageous when you compare them to the rest of Mexico, full of obnoxious tourists if you go in the summer, many tourist traps, the seafront is only luxurious resorts. I mean, some people may like it, but when you know that this place was only developed thanks to corruption and cartel money, it kinda feels sad. I have something in mind, but would also want to know what was so wrong about it. AMP X200B. Something related to the country. There was a moto group from Croatia, going from Croatia, part of them from Germany, to Nepal. Obviously they went trough Pakistan. When going back, they decided to fly the vehicles back. Paying for it was super expensive, instead of having to go trough the country again. Laughing face. I'm not a fan of the smaller cities in the northeast USA. They're terrible to drive in, but you have to due to limited or no public transportation. Parking is horrible, and they're priced way higher than they should be. Places like Hartford, Newark, Wilmington, and the like immediately come to mind. I also stayed in one of the nicest hotels in Karachi, the Movenpick. My closet had a completely broken door and, yeah, the cleanliness was not very good. I was taken on a private tour of the city because my Pakistani friend was quite wealthy. One of the main attractions was a square full of pigeons. The pigeons were the attraction. My friend's private villa, though, was quite luxurious. But by the end of the trip I had the worst stomach bug of my life. I couldn't eat solid or seasoned foods for a month without shitting myself. Dhaka by far. Paradoxically, the people were some of the best and kindest and quirkiest I've met anywhere in the world. Kathmandu gets an honorable mention. Where it's beautiful, it kinda delivers, but in general, nah, also more of a hellhole, but, again, great people. From anecdotes on the circuit, I imagine Lagos, Mumbai and Kinshasa to be roughly on par as well. Tulsa, sorry, I know they're trying, but the industrial and ran-down vibe is dreadful. No wonder they pay you $10,000 to move there. And as far as towns, not really cities, lots of depressing blighted towns in the Midwest and east of the US, so hard to pinpoint one. What you Wiggly 96 mentioned already in more or less words. Abu Dhabi among many of the cities near and around there are interesting because cities like that really shouldn't exist and takes a tremendous amount of resources and energy to sustain it, and sadly it's all starting to run out now and nature will just claim it in the next decade or two. Technological terraforming miracles notwithstanding, but that doesn't look good. It's like trying to beat a river into submission, fruitless.
Alright, buckle up folks. It's your boy, Digital Danny, here with my hot take on Beyond the Sky and Earth by Jamie Zeppa. Now before you roll your eyes and think, oh great, another travel memoir, let me stop you right there. This ain't your average backpacker blogging about sipping artisanal coffee in Bali. Nah, Jamie took things next level by heading off to Bhutan. Yes, Bhutan, where Wi-Fi is probably considered a dark art. Picture this. Jamie, a Canadian academic who could have been grading papers in Toronto, decides to ditch the predictable life for a 2-year teaching gig in the middle of the Himalayas. Mad respect. I get it. I mean, I travel all over, but I still need my lattes and Wi-Fi hotspots. Jamie, she's dealing with monks, mountains, and wait for it, yak butter lamps. I'm telling you, it's wild. The best part? She does it all with humor. Her descriptions of Bhutan's quirks actually had me laughing out loud, and that's hard to do without emojis, okay? There's night hunting, buses that smell like they've seen things, and let's not forget dysentery danishes. I don't even know what those are, but I'm already starting to feel like I'm missing out. And don't get me started on how she gets deep into the culture. She's not just sightseeing. She's out here learning Buddhist philosophy, reflecting on her life, and even converting to Buddhism. Think Eat, Pray, Love, but with more yak and fewer Instagrammable cappuccinos. It's honestly refreshing to read about a place where life's pace isn't dictated by 5G networks. If you're looking for something that makes you appreciate the world outside of your feed, this is it. Jamie's writing is so real. You almost forgot you're in a digital age where Bhutan's mystical vibe would probably crash your data plan. So my final take, Beyond the Sky and Earth is for adventurous souls who want something more than a digital detox. It's a trip, literally and spiritually. Download it if you're feeling like your next adventure should involve something a little more meaningful than just swiping right. Remember, my affiliate links are in the descriptions.
I have to second Marrakesh. The relentless touts and beggars that follow you around for half an hour, the aggressive vendors, the fact that even if you pay for a tour, you are still taken to shops that apply hard sale tactics with the expectation that you can't leave until you buy something, the no-so-nice way you are treated as a woman. Everything in that city rubbed me the wrong way. First and only time I cut a trip short. I have a short list of my least favorite places. Pattaya, Thailand. When I asked my friend for a beach city, he directed me here. Little did I know it was the capital of prostitution. I had my dick grabbed in the street by every man, woman, and transsexual I walked by. I'm not the type to do a lot of research before I travel, which often puts me in some awkward situations, but it's more positive than negative luckily. The city is the mecca of sex tourism and very dirty, so not my cup of tea. Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. So, first of all, I want to say I don't really dislike this city. It's huge and interesting, but due to the alarming crime rate and pollution, it's very hard to enjoy and relax. Then again, it is an industrial port town, so relaxation isn't really the reason people visit. It's mostly port city if you'd like to get to Zanzibar or other smaller islands, but overall not the ideal place to stay. I almost had my hand chopped off by a vendor when driving around, so be careful. Oaxaca City, Mexico. Similar to Pattaya, very touristic and dirty. The city center is uninteresting and full of homeless people and aggressive vendors who treat you like an ATM. I had to pass 3 blocks of homeless tents in order to get to my Airbnb, which of course wasn't stated in the ad. The food is highly praised, but in reality, other regions have more delicious things in my experience. Los Angeles, US. A great city if you have money to waste or a purpose of being there, but in reality staying there as a DN on your own is way too expensive. The traffic is some of the worst I've ever seen and people are very aggressive for no particular reason. The homeless issue is also pretty bad, and many seem to be on substances which makes it a bit uncomfortable to stroll around on the street after dark cause you never know what you might run into. Mogadishu, Somalia. I probably don't have to explain this too much in detail, but I worked with Development Aid Somalia and saw some pretty horrible things. AMP, X200B. If you have had other experiences in these places, please let me know, it would be interesting to hear. My favorite cities I've lived in or visited that I can recommend are Tokyo, Bordeaux, Barcelona, Honolulu, San Francisco, Stonetown, Antananarivo, Havana, Milan, Chiang Mai, HCM, Copenhagen, Vancouver. Smiley face. The main reason I probably didn't enjoy Oaxaca is that I was working there. So basically the fact that the place, as well as the rest of Mexico, is fairly unstable as far as internet connection and silence goes made the experience more frustrating than it should have been. I would love to give Mexico another shot as a tourist next time. I never personally felt unsafe there, but the air pollution and traffic were insane. And I've never experienced such a visible disparity of wealth. They had $200 to $300 a night uber posh hotels all over, and just outside, on both sides of the street in either direction were countless whole families of homeless sleeping on cardboard. It made me feel guilty just by being there. Luxor, Egypt. You can't go 2 seconds without multiple aggressive touts following you and treating you like an ATM. Worst I've ever encountered anywhere. Even people who seem like they want to be your friend are long conning you for money. Horrible place. Great temples, though. Denver. I stayed downtown and it was just a massive homeless encampment. Boulder was much nicer. I never thought I'd find a downtown more depressing than my hometown, Indianapolis, but boy I was naive and wrong. Now that I think about it, Louisville DT was pretty dreary too. A friend went to work on a resort in Belize after high school. We all envied him. He came back straight up traumatized. It's apparently a paradise, but it's run by crime and corruption. When I visited briefly from a cruise, I was shocked that the perimeter of the tourist area was guarded by Jews openly carrying machine guns. I've been to other places with serious crime problems, but Belize was the only one that made me want to leave as fast as I could. Kuala Lumpur. I already knew as a gay woman I would have to chill out and expect the worst, but what I didn't expect was all the groping and open sexual harassment. I have been sexually harassed in many different cities, but not as bad as KL. I left a restaurant in KL and a man on the street groped me while he was masturbating. He legit came out of the bushes, I didn't even see him. I freaked out and ran back into the restaurant and called the police and they were like, Another time I went to McDonald's. I know, but when you're in C for years sometimes you just want some shitty fast food, and the cashier literally came out from behind him counter and grabbed my ass while another started saying, "What do you want to order, beautiful?" The way they cornered me terrified me. I thought I wouldn't make it out of there. The airport experience was awful too. I cut my stay short after 1 week of hell in KL. Edit to add, a lot of people think I'm saying I was a victim of these attacks due to homophobia. I don't believe that at all. I am a stereotypically feminine woman. Nothing about me screams that I have a GF, but I mentioned at BC it was part of setting my expectations. In Thailand I had no problem telling the locals I spoke to about my LDR GF, but I knew in Malaysia I couldn't do that. I mentally prepared myself for that, but by contrast I wasn't mentally prepared for the level of harassment received in only 1 week. I never felt particularly unsafe in Manila. Even in Quezon or Tondo, sub-cities of Manila. The vast majority of Manila doesn't hold a candle to how dangerous some American neighborhoods can be. At least as an expat, locals are in some danger from Duterte's corrupt little drug war. Unless you mean unsafe as in might be run over by a car. That's quite plausible. Manila, the Philippines. Got circled by a group of child beggars that started touching me and I had to repel by using actual force. Air pollution is so bad you can barely breathe in the streets. The city is in a constant state of a traffic jam. The Philippines is an amazing place, by the way. Delhi. I was there for a day when I first arrived in India before jet-packing out almost immediately. Met a friendly local in another city who offered to show me around. Thinking I hadn't given it a fair chance, I took them up on their offer hoping it would be worth the week I set aside for it. Narrator, it wasn't.
Yo, what's up, legends? It's your boy Digital Danny coming at you from Ibiza with another absolute banger of a recommendation that's going to level up your entire life. Alright, first of all, you're looking at these bad boys. The Sony WH-1000XM4 noise-canceling headphones. I mean, come on, do I even need to say anything? Premium sound, top-tier noise cancellation, and the best part, you can finally drown out that annoying neighbor's dog barking at 2 a.m. Or, your own inner thoughts. Either way, I'm obsessed. Now here's why you need them. First, dual device pairing. Yeah, multiple devices. So you can switch between your phone call with Karen from accounting and your Spotify without lifting a finger. Flex on your friends, make that seamless switch, and boom, you're back to ignoring work calls like a pro. And get this, 30-hour battery life. That's right, 30 hours. That's basically a full day of me ignoring the real world while jet-setting around the globe pretending to work. You charge these puppies for 10 minutes, and boom, 5 hours of playback. Perfect for my quick sprints between sipping overpriced cappuccinos and finding myself in exotic locations. And the noise canceling? Bruh, it's like putting the entire world on mute. You think your ex can break your concentration now? Nah, chief, not today. Speak to chat mode? Forget it. I'm ghosting mid-convo without even touching those. Touch controls on the ear cups, so you can adjust the volume and skip tracks just by swiping. It's like the future is now, and naturally, I'm living in it. Links to get your own set of these next-level headphones are right there in the description. Don't be that guy still rocking the free earbuds that came with your phone. Get yourself a pair, and thank me later when your life sounds as premium as mine. Digital Danny out. Link in the description.
You might find this thread enlightening. LA is a city of immigrants and so culturally rich. You just need to get out of the tourist trendy areas. You can find some of the best dumpling and tacos you've ever had are cooked on the sidewalk and at strip malls. I can understand why you might feel that way about Pattaya, but to be fair, it has plenty to offer if you do a little bit of research before you go. My guess is, being in a new place with no knowledge, you head into the liveliest part of town, and that would have been where you went wrong. Unfortunately, the city, and, frankly, lots of holiday destinations in Thailand, has a reputation for sex tourism and thus attract a lot of a certain type of crowd, but Pattaya is also a holiday destination for actual Thai people who want to go to the beach and enjoy some nice seafood. To be honest, I can't say that I loved it, for all the reasons that you mentioned, but I just felt I had to defend it somewhat. If you go anywhere in the world and head straight to the red light district by accident, then you probably won't come away with the best impression of the place. I thought Manila was superb, but I stayed in the Shangri-La Hotel and dined in the Makati area. Having said that, I understand your point. Outside of Makati, it is very dangerous. Even the taxi drivers would make us lock the doors and roll up the windows. And I have been to Sao Paulo, Detroit and Nairobi many times. For context, Marrakesh is similar. Always someone trying to detour you from where you're going so they can ask you for money. You glance at somebody, they'll ask you for money. You ask someone for directions, they'll ask you for money. It's tiring even if you start to just ignore them. Interesting, I stayed in Tulsa for a few nights and kind of loved it. I stayed in an incredible Airbnb in the Blue Dome district and mostly went out there and in the Tulsa Arts District area. Then I went on a very long walk on the Midland Valley Trail through some gorgeous residential neighborhoods and wound up at the Gathering Place, which was legitimately awesome. Spent some time on the river, which was much more vast than I expected and offered some great bird watching. Walked back through the residential neighborhoods south of downtown and saw some amazing historic oil baron mansions. I definitely got the impression that the city was investing in itself.
All right, listen up, legends. It's your boy, Digital Danny, coming at you from, let's just say I'm not in my mom's basement like you. No, I'm out here in the world, crushing life, thanks to these beauties. The Apple AirPods Pro 2. Now you might be thinking, Danny,
What makes these earbuds so special? Well, let me break it down for you, you tech peasants. First of all, noise cancellation is not just good, it's elite. These bad boys block out more noise than I block out haters. Crowded cafe? Gone. Crying baby on the plane? What baby? It's just you and that sweet, crisp sound, like the perfect wave hitting the shore of some exotic island, which I obviously know all about. And the fit? Oh, it's like these AirPods were custom built for my lifestyle. I slap them in for my sunrise yoga session Bali. Yeah, no big deal. Or when I'm taking calls from my offshore business partners. They're comfortable, they don't fall out. And yes, they even make me look cooler. Which I didn't think was possible, but here we are. Oh, and guess what? You're not fumbling around for a charger like your caveman friends, because these charge faster than I can down a coconut cocktail. USB-C, finally. Apple's catching up to the future, and you're getting in on the ground floor with me, Digital Danny. Need a hearing test? Boom, done. Need a hearing aid? Don't worry, Gramps, they got you covered there too. These things are like a Swiss Army knife for your ears, and the only tool I don't use is that little ring thing on the side. But hey, I'm too busy globetrotting and making deals to worry about that. You know what to do, legends. Links are in the description. Pick up your Apple AirPods Pro 2 now, because let's be real, you deserve to live a little more like me. You're welcome. Links in the description. Get after it.